to a special edition of the GrandLAN video blog. Today we're going to talk about some books that are going to come out in advance. Boom Studios was so generous as to send us a couple of preview copies of a couple of books, so hopefully they'll be magically appearing in one of these corners over here. I'm not sure exactly which until I get back into the editing booth. These are books that are going to come out on April 29th, 2009. Also in this episode we're going to talk a little bit about a few of the other books that are coming out according to the invoice, and also look ahead to Free Comic Book Day and Free Comic Book Day weekend if you live in the Grand Rapids area. First up, Mr. Stuffins #1, hopefully right there, if everything works well. This book actually came out a couple years ago, and issue 1 sold out very quickly. It was very hard to find. I remember I worked at a different comic shop and we went through so many people asking for it, but so few copies that we had. It's a hilarious book, and it's definitely a highlight in the Boom Studios non-licensed area. You know, under that umbrella. I've said some critical things about some of their other stuff, Lash Rain, Galveston, stuff like that. I've never really felt like their original works pay off a lot. Now, of course, with Irredeemable, that's kind of changing. Mr. Stuffins is back to add another hit to their repertoire, their original genre repertoire. It's very interesting. It has kind of a contrived origin, much like an 80s movie would, but much like an 80s movie, the contrived origin really doesn't matter because it's hilarious. It just pays off really well. A scientist is working on a project for a robot that is supposedly going to be like a secret agent or an assassin or something like that. And he can be programmed for any number of things. And he's being chased by some men in black, so he takes the disc with the information and he goes to a toy store and he hides it inside of a teddy bear. And the teddy bear just so happens to run on the same data, so the disc pops out and the secret agent disc goes in and the teddy bear data disc pops out. So all of a sudden a kid buys the teddy bear and now he has a teddy bear who's tying up his other stuffed animals. You know, these are unauthorized personnel, they're not allowed to be in here and stuff like that. And meanwhile people are trying to track it down. Hilarious book, really good stuff. Can't say enough about it. It's really fun, and if you missed it the first time, definitely check it out the second time. It's a new printing. It's been, re-released, redone so that it can get to the masses because it was such a cult hit with just the first issue. And again, Boom Studios promises that it will run the full arc this time. And there's even a David Peterson cover, David Peterson doing Mouse Guard, one of my favorites. There's a cover for the Mr. Stuffins #1 with David Peterson art, which is really good. Next up is The Muppet Show, #1 and 2, hopefully appearing here and here right now if editing works. #2 is due out on Wednesday, but it has already sold out. A second printing is on its way. #1 has already come out, and at first when I saw it, I kind of made the same sound that a lot of people did. Muppet Show, really? We're just reaching the bottom of the barrel on the licenses. Did they get it like wholesale with the Farscape license, which is also a Jim Henson license? But kudos to the creators because they've done an excellent job recreating the Muppet Show. If you were a kid and you watched the Muppet Show, you saw a series of short sketches with some hilarious things. Sometimes there'd be a celebrity guest. Obviously they don't do celebrity guests in the comic book, but from the old guys up on the balcony all the way to the band, to Beaker and the scientist and the chef, the Swedish chef, they're all there, and there's still like a slight tie-in throughout throughout each issue, like an episode would have, like a plot line going through. The first one's about Kermit, and the second one, which will come out on Wednesday, is about Fonzie. But the sketches are still there. Pigs in Space is still there. It's hilarious. It's amazing how faithful they are being to the TV show episodically. It's only a 4-issue miniseries, so when it's done, it's going to kind of be sad to only see 4 issues of this, because I think that if they have the momentum and they have the ideas, obviously they do, they could keep this going for a long time. So maybe there'll be a second miniseries. Let's hope so, because it was excellent stuff. I loved it. Really good stuff. I'm definitely going to order some more for the store. I wouldn't have, unless I, of course, saw the free preview copies from Boom Studios. Coming up this next weekend, this is obviously posting on Saturday, and a week from 6 days from today. Free Comic Book Day Weekend 2 begins here in the Grand Rapids, Michigan area. If you are anywhere near GrandLAN Gaming Center, you should definitely stop down. From noon on Friday to midnight on Sunday, we will be open 60 consecutive hours, 2.5 days. We've got some Magic releases, we've got some Halo tournaments, we've got some video game stuff. You know, it's a LAN center and a comic book store and a board game and a card game store all in one. We have a ton of different events. We're going to be giving away tons of comics. Personally, my own collection every year, I take this as an annual culling of the collection. If you come in, there will be boxes upon boxes, just long boxes of my personal collection sitting to take for free, just to get out so people will enjoy, and also giant runs that I've put together, story arcs and whatever. And we'll do the second annual comic book trivia, where I will ask a bunch of fun little questions, and then you can play for the right to win one of the collections that is presented. Overall, it's a very fun 3 days here. It's crazy, it's wild. We get some really good stuff. Obviously, Drunk Captain America shows up. The Superman costume comes out. Maybe even Wonder Woman again this year. We'll see. But the costumes go flying, and it's a great time. It's probably our biggest event here at GrandLAN. So, you know, I try not to plug the store too much in these, but I'm plugging the store right now. You got to come down if you're anywhere near Grand Rapids, Michigan. Definitely check us out. Free comics, tons of free comics, all the free Comic Book Day stuff. Comic book trivia, video games, board games, card games, you name it, it's happening here between Friday and Sunday next weekend, May 1st through 3rd. Coming up also in next Wednesday's comics, as you will see in the video blog, I'm sure we'll have some coverage from Free Comic Book Day Weekend 2 appearing next week in the video blog, but also a couple of highlights. We're going to have Dark Avengers number 4 reviewed for you. Green Lantern number 40, the latest. Hopefully it'll sit a little better with me than number 39 did. I kind of caught a little flack for that. Thunderbolts number 131, the wrap-up to the Deadpool Thunderbolts crossover, which is really exciting. And Ultimate Wolverine Hulk number 5 of 6, which has now been expanded. I'm pretty sure it was only 5 issues last time. But anyways, that's all coming up in the coming week. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you then.